every minute a child is dying in Pakistan, which can be prevented. If you are a Pakistani, if you are a human, what greater emergency could that be? If you imagine that if we are going to sit here for 30 minutes and 30 children die in that time period, and we could do something about it. So saying, no, that gives you a purpose in life. मैं एक ER में से गुजर रहा था, वहाँ पे एक माँ बैठी हुई थी, उसके बराबर उसके एक दो रिश्तेदार भी थे और वो पिछाड़े खा रही थी। वो कह रही थी, मैं नहीं बचूंगी, मेरे बच्चे को बचा लो वरना मैं नहीं बचूंगी। एंड देयर वाज सो मच पेन इन हर वॉइस कि मैंने उससे पूछा बराबर वाले से क्या हुआ। पता चला कि उसके बच्चे ने टीवी ट्रॉली पे चढ़ने की कोशिश की और टीवी उसके सर पे गिरा, सर पे लगा बच्चे के, खून निकला नाक से, बच्चा बेहोश है। बच्चे को लेके आए हुए और माँ का जो हाल था वो देखा नहीं जा सकता था कि किस तरह वो तड़प रही थी। So I went inside, talked to the doctor. The doctor said कि unconscious है, लेकिन we are hopeful. So I went back to the mother and consoled her कि फिक्र ना करें, बड़ा डॉक्टर उसको देख रहा है। उसको कुछ सुकून आया और उसने कहा बस उससे कहें मुझे बता दें कि मेरा बच्चा बच जाएगा। It is earth shattering जब आप एक माँ को तकलीफ़ में देखते हैं, आप पत्थर पिघल जाए माँ की तकलीफ़ को देखे। और इन्हीं माँओं के लिए हमारी कोशिश ये है कि हम पाकिस्तान भर में उनके घरों के करीब मेयारी मुफ्त 24 घंटे की सर्विस दें। अगर ये हमारी ज़िंदगी का मकसद है तो हम तो बड़े खुश नसीब हैं कि हमें मौका मिला कि ऐसे काम से जुड़ जाएं जो इतना बड़ा काम कर रहा हो। An ER at civil hospital typically treats 300 patients a day. Out of those 300, there are 30 usually which fall under the most critical category, which is called the resuscitation category. This is where we have 10 minutes to save a child. So the survival rate of the resus category has more than quadrupled. It used to be less than 20%. At civil hospital, it is 95% and higher. When you see something you don't like, you have two choices. Ignore it and continue your life, or do something about it. But then there's a warning. If you want to do something about it, you need to know आपको बहुत काम करना पड़ेगा, आपको मुस्तकिल काम करना पड़ेगा और आपको रेजिस्टेंस फेस करनी पड़ेगी. So if you are ready for it, then of course change is not easy, but then change is worth it. There's always a silver lining in a crisis. The country comes together, people stand up and do something about it. The outpouring of support of the 2010 floods is also very unfortunate that 20% of Pakistan was under water, people had great misery, but then the countrymen stood up. It's united, and one of the reactions was, let's improve some systems. So out of the floods, when a lot of international media was focused on it, CNN's medical correspondent Dr. Sanjay Gupta visited, and he traced a child from the flood area all the way to the children emergency room at Civil Hospital Karachi. And then he showed the pictures of Civil Hospital's ER. Pathetic, dirty, lack of medicines, a broken system. And it is no one person's fault. It's an overwhelmed system. It's a governance issue. So that triggered, and some philanthropists who founded Child Life came forward and said, let's do it. The first step was very simple. Let's go in, saw the ER, we'll paint it, give some equipment and go on. As the word spread out, in a year's time, the director of NICH, the largest children's hospital in Sindh and Balochistan, approached us, and he invited us that this is the largest children's hospital in Sindh, why don't you replicate this model? I was at NICH and I saw a doctor counseling a mother, and the doctor was telling the mother that this child which is intubated, and we are ambu bagging the child, You can't take the child home because if you take the tube out, the child is going to die. And the mother said, I have two elder children at home who are hungry. My husband has to go to work. The child is in the ER for the third day. So I intervened and I asked the mother that don't you have somebody else who can come and relieve you so you could go home? And she said very simply, I live an hour away from here. If this was closer to my house, I could have my sister come in and take care of this child. And then it dawned on me that we need to give quality care closest to the people's homes. One large hospital in the center of the city will not solve the problem. So that was the idea, that you need a network of hospitals, and that's where working with the government cemented. Because the only institution which has hospitals in every nook and corner is the government. There's a lot of improvement that can go into there, but we still have a starting point. The building, the system exists. Let's work with the government to improve it. Now there are 5 large government hospitals in Karachi. At that time, the vision developed that if we were able to provide service in all 5 centers of Karachi, no child would be 30 minutes away from 24/7 free quality emergency care. A great gift not only to the children of this city, but also to the poor parents of this city. And it also is the largest Muslim population city in the world. So it was also a belief that Pakistanis are solving Pakistan's problem. It is an indigenous model. We are today in 67 hospitals. It's no longer an opportunity. It's a responsibility that if you are able to do something, Allah has given you an opportunity. I have miles to go before I sleep. ERs we establish at government tertiary care hospitals. These are specialized hospitals which are attached with medical colleges, because the poorest and the sickest children end up here. But this means they are still in about 25 major cities. 2/3 of Pakistanis live outside these major cities. How do we reach out to them? So we have developed another service line, which is telemedicine or tele-resus care at district levels and at tehsil levels. And this is an amazing service that 24/7, when a child is brought into these government hospitals, we can provide quality care, because our telemedicine center with the most senior doctors are available to see them, give advice 24/7, and if required, refer them to the closest ER. As we speak today, every district of Sindh, which is 30, and all 33 districts of Balochistan have telemedicine service by Childlife. And we hope that all the other remaining districts of Pakistan, there are 95 in Punjab, KPK, Azad Jammu Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan, we should be able to replicate this model there very soon. Childlife जैसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में सबसे अहम चीज़ होती है उसमें किस किस्म के लोग जुड़ जाते हैं, वो किस कल्चर के तहत काम कर रहे हैं। चाइल्ड लाइफ खुश नसीब है कि आज इसके जो 1200 लोग हैं वो एक मकसद के तहत काम कर रहे हैं। हमारे 53 लोग ऐसे थे जिनको कोविड हुआ, हमारे 100 से ऊपर लोग क्वारंटीन हुए, लेकिन द शो वेंट ऑन, और जज्बा यही था कि हमने खिदमत करनी है। एक बड़ी मशहूर नज़म है, वो हम अपनी टीम ही के लिए कहते हैं, आने वाली नस्लें गवाही देंगी कि तुम खड़े थे। तो ये तुम खड़े थे जो लोग हैं ना, जो डटे रहे मुझे उन सफ़ों में तलाश कर, ये वाले जो लोग हैं ये आपको मिल जाएं तो फिर एक दूसरे से इनको हौसला मिलता है। और जो हम वैल्यूज़ की बात करते हैं, हमारी सबसे अहम वैल्यू है आजिज़ी, ह्यूमिलिटी, क्योंकि जब आप हम्बल होते हैं तो बाकी तमाम चीज़ें, इवन डीलिंग विद द पेशेंट, लर्निंग समथिंग न्यू, उस वक्त आता है जब आप अपनी ईगो को चेक में रखते हैं और आप आजिज़ी के साथ काम करते हैं, और अल्लाह को भी आजिज़ी बहुत पसंद है। I was once parking a car at NICH, and I saw a lady got off from the back of a motorcycle and walked into the ER. So by the time I got in, she was at the triage desk, and she had a baby in her arm, and she said that the child is not breathing. Since I followed her, I asked her, when was this child born? She said at 8 a.m. And this was like 9 a.m. And I said, where was he born? In a hospital? She said it was born at home. And then I reluctantly asked her, what's your relationship? She said, I'm the mother. So this lady, and I can tell you how frail she was looking. She had given birth at home at 8. The child was not breathing normal. She sat on the back of a motorcycle for half an hour, holding the young child in her arms to rush here. All I could tell the mother was, please have a seat before you fall down, because she was looking very, very weak. So this is the love that a mother has for her child. There's no other power in this universe which is bigger than that. So I think our motivation is, we are not just saving children, we are supporting motherhood. And these mothers may not give us prayers from their lips, but from their hearts, from the tears in their eyes, God listens. Even God has said that I love humans equal to or more than 70 mothers. God has never compared himself to anything human, but if he has compared to one thing, it is that God loves his creation equal to 70 times of the love of a mother. So mother's love is such powerful. It moves our hearts when we see a mother in pain. And वो बेबस है, उसका पैसा नहीं है, बच्चा उसके हाथ से स्लिप हो रहा है. And if we are able to do something, whatever we can, so उसके दिल से जो दुआ निकलती होगी, तो अल्लाह हमारी मदद ऐसे ही तो नहीं करेगा.